Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Giglio, principal of Homestead High School, and here with another edition of our weekly video messages. This is for September 9th, 2022. And as you can see, I have a guest star here with us. We have Damaris Llamas, who is our new attendance clerk. And so, as I talked about before, Rita Figueroa has moved on to greener pastures. And so we have a new one here. And so I wanted to welcome her to the family and let her introduce herself. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hola, buenos días. My name is Damaris Llamas. Mi nombre es Damaris Llamas y estoy muy contenta de estar aquí con ustedes. I am so happy to be part of the Mustang family. Feel free to reach out anytime you guys have any concerns with attendance or just stop by and say hi.
All right, so she'll be one of the first people you see as you walk into our building. We have two folks that are out front. Nancy is at our reception desk, and she'll be sitting at her attendance desk. But obviously, anytime they have an attendance issue, whether it's a full or partial, right, they still call those same numbers. That hasn't changed. Obviously, if you need to email her, you can see her name there at the bottom. And just like everybody else, it's our first name _ last name. And as you heard, she is also fluent in Spanish. So we're happy to have a bilingual speaker up there. And we know we're very excited about having her here because she does have a lot of experience. And so you've done work at other schools. So do you want to kind of let people know a little bit about your past experience?
Of course. So I come from Santa Clara School District. I was working at Westwood Elementary for about over a year. And before that, I was part of Sunnyvale School District at Columbia Middle School. And I've had the opportunities to see some of those students here, which is always exciting because once they leave, like the prior school, you're like, oh, I'm never going to see them. But I've had the chance to see them and it's wonderful. So happy.
Great. Well, we would like to welcome you here to our family, and we know that other people will be getting a chance to stop by and say hello. So I just wanted everyone to get a face with the name here. So I'm going to let her get back to her busy phone calls over there because you've got the phone calls already that you need to deal with for full and partial day absences. But again, thank you for taking the time to talk with everybody, and I'll let you get back while I do the rest of my show here. So thanks. Take care.
Look forward to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so I'm going to jump onto our regular announcements here. Let me share my screen. There we go. So as I said, this is the weekly announcement for 9/9. We're going to start off as we always do with our shout outs and recognitions. This one's a little bittersweet, I have to say. But if you watched our back to school night video, you will have already heard that Brian Dong, who's been an assistant principal here, he's been a dean, then an assistant principal here for about 10 years. He is over athletics and activities, is going to be moving on to the district office. What you may not know is that Toby Mockler, our facility manager, has also gotten a position at the district office. So both of them are going to be moving on here and to other pastures at the district office. And so again, what we can tell you is that we don't have replacements for them yet, but we will not be sending them over to their new positions until we have replacements here for them so that there's no interruption in service there. And then we'll probably be sending out announcements about who's replacing them. We'll also may have some changes in terms of some of the duties and whatnot that are happening with our admin team. So I'll make sure I send all that information out when it's there. But while it is bittersweet, we miss them. We will miss them. We appreciated their great service here. I do want to wish them all the best. And give them a shout out and a recognition for all the great stuff that they have been doing over the years. So thanks, Brian and Toby. Going to move over to the concerns and questions. There was I put this whole one in here, but I said Homestead Road was the most congested that we've seen it on Thursday, September 1st. We know many students were late that day. Is there a known reason? Like, was the city experimenting with the timing of traffic lights? We hadn't heard of or saw, we didn't tell him. Let me say that again. Nothing that I'm aware of is what I'm trying to say, that we weren't giving any information to hear that anything was going on. What we have been seeing in terms of our daily traffic is that there is some crossover from the middle school traffic. It used to be when we started at 8, they were kind of on the tail end of our traffic. Now we're on the tail end of their traffic as they start a little bit before we do. So there is some of that traffic that's happening after parents have dropped off their middle school kids and they're moving on. One of the things that we're also noticing is that there is with the consistent start to the day, every day starts at 8:30. There aren't any other late starts or fluctuating starts unless you just don't happen to have that first period of the day. But that's also bringing in maybe a larger number of people to that consistent start. One thing we also do notice is that fourth period is our most populated period. That means the most amount of students are enrolled in a fourth period class. That happens on a Wednesday, Friday, and that Thursday obviously wouldn't have happened. That would have been a first period starting, so I'm not really sure. Again, I can always tell you though, having been out doing traffic now for so many years, the last 10 minutes of that commute, the 10 minutes prior to the bell, is the busiest. That's when we see everybody kind of rushing in and traffic getting very congested. So please come early. I know at the middle schools, they say don't bring your kid before 15 minutes before the bell. We don't have that. You can drop your kid off earlier. While I know that's not easy to get your kid up and out earlier, but that is something that you can do if you just don't want to be caught in that traffic or coming late. So again, I'm not sure what was happening that particular day, but nothing that we're aware of. Just also wanted to let you know, the person who put this one in, as you can see here, wanted a private response, but they didn't put a name or a number. So I couldn't make it a private one. So I thought it'd be a good enough one to do public anyway. This is kind of what I see when I get your responses. I get a timestamp, I get, some your answers to all the questions, and that's what it looks like. So again, I can't see the email or a name that gets sent with this. So we're not tracking that. It's only if you write private, would you please make sure you put a note in there. You're not the first person to do this, so don't be embarrassed. But again, just make sure you put a name or a number in there so that I can follow up with you. Back to school night happened this week. And so an apology, there was a glitch with the e-notify system, which was supposed to send out the announcement saying, hey, videos are posted. And there was a video from the admin team. It was supposed to go out at 5 p.m. that night. Not sure what happened, but across the country, the e-notify system was not working. And so things didn't go out till later. So apologies for those who may have been waiting or looking for some sort of sign that didn't come until later. But those videos are still available on the Teacher Schoology pages. So please, continue to look at those. They should be up for a long period of time. If not, just simply ask your teacher, say, hey, I didn't get a chance to see the video. Can I see that? But it should still be on the Schoology pages. And so again, make sure you're checking the names of your, students' teachers so that you can log on to their pages. And again, if there's questions or concerns you're going to help us support, you can either contact the teacher directly, because maybe you had a question like, I didn't quite understand what you meant by X, Y, or Z, or can you tell me more about, this project? Or if there's maybe a more technical issue or you're concerned, you can contact one of the administrators. You can always contact me. Traffic reminders. Again, as we mentioned, one of the questions was about traffic, but I'm going to be doing this till we get everybody sort of trained, because we know it's hard having a whole 600 new freshmen coming in, trying to get people in the right spots in the right places. But there, again, a reminder, there is no student drop off or pickup in the staff lot. So again, that's a safety issue with the construction going on there. I know that feels frustrating to some folks and they wish they could do that, but please do not drop your student off there unless you have prior permission. We have been giving permission, and we're giving special passes out to families who maybe their student has an injury or a disability, and we're trying to help them smoothing that. So if your kid breaks their leg, let us know, and instead of having to kind of hobble off through the horseshoe, we can let you do that in the staff lot, but that's only on a temporary basis. The only drop off is in the student lot of the horseshoe. Okay, so those are the places you should be aiming for if you're trying to drop your student here off on campus. You can drop your kid off campus somewhere and then they walk in, and I'll talk about that in a second. But again, if you're coming to campus, student lot or horseshoe only. If you're in the horseshoe, please make sure you're pulling all the way to the end. What we're seeing is parents are stopping at the opening, they're letting their kid out, and then they're driving down to the end and they're blocking traffic on the street. So please come all the way down. I know it's a little bit harder to get around campus with the construction fences up there, but please, for the sake of getting everyone off the street, for keeping those bike lanes safe so that bikers can get to and from work and school, we really ask that you do that. Please use both lanes when you're dropping off the students, because again, that helps us fill up and get cars off the street. It stops backups. It prevents things happening in the crosswalks over by the lights. So please come on over and use both of those lanes. But kids getting out of the car, please look to make sure the cars see you crossing the street there. It gets hectic in the morning. We want to make sure that you're not just dodging out there. We've had some near misses, new people, and on the conversely, if you're driving, please understand there may be kids coming in and out. So please keep your eye open for those. Again, did I put? Oh yeah, I put it down there a little lower. Do not drop off or pick up on Homestead. That is very dangerous and can get you a ticket. If you're in the student lot and you're dropping the students off, please try to come all the way over and go to that outside lane. And so to let the students come in who are driving, come in and get to a parking spot. What we're seeing is parents are coming in, they're blocking the entire entry lane to let their kids out, and then kids are getting late to school because they can't get around you. So we're going to put up some more markers to kind of show you where to go. Someone stole our signs, which we're getting a new sign. But basically, if the people who are dropping off kind of go to the left side of that lane and further up, the students can come on that right side inside lane and make that loop into the other open available parking spaces. Just trying to be, again, helpful for folks. Again, if you are using an alternative spot, please do not block or use our neighbors' driveways. We try to be good neighbors. That can be frustrating for them. It can also prevent them from getting in or out if they need to. But we also would ask that you do not use the Village Green apartment driveway or parking lot or the 7-Eleven parking lot. That tends to get us in hot water with them, and we again want to be nice, we want to be friendly. So please be careful of where you drop the student off, but just make sure that if you are using an alternative, that you're kind of looking at where you're putting that kid. Now we're on to some important dates. This weekend, Sunday, is 9/11. We did read a remembrance today during announcements, and tried, again, we realized that none of our students were alive when 9/11 happened 21 years ago. So we do try to give them a little historical idea about it. We try to talk about what it means to the country and to other individuals. And we also try to end with a positive message on, just being caring and kind and compassionate to people, because that's actually what helped our nation heal. More so than getting revenge was getting back to helping each other. So we did talk about that today. So just in case your kid is talking about that, or maybe you want to talk to your student about that they give them a little bit of intro there. Here are some dates that are coming up. So on the 28th of September, we have a financial aid presentation for college. Again, you can find all this information on our calendar and events on our website. So if you want to get more information and more times, you can look it up there. The 29th is the end of our first grading period. So this is kind of an important date. The grading period is not a final grade. It is a snapshot of where your student is at this time. And we still have many weeks till the grade becomes final. The only time the grade is final is at the end of each semester. But this is a chance for you to look and have a conversation with your kids like, hey, your grade looks awfully low. What do you need to do? What teacher should you talk to? What help can we provide you? If it's really high, that's great too. It can also fall though. So make sure you're kind of just checking in. But that is an important one. So we do send home progress reports for students with D's and F's, but you can always look on Schoology to see where your student is. So again, end of first grading period is the end of this month. So just know that that's coming up. On more exciting and fun news, we have homecoming week happening that first week of October. There's a lot of great events and activities. I'm not going to go into those right yet. Some of them are still being developed, but there's dress up days, spirit days, rally. There's a homecoming parade on Friday, a homecoming festival, the actual homecoming game. There's a lot of great stuff happening. So, and please encourage your students to dress up and participate and have a fun week. So it is a lot of fun. So looking forward to that. The October 11th is the last chance for students to make up their school photos. So if they didn't get a photo, they don't have an ID card, they need those things. October 11th is gonna be the last time. So please make sure that they put that on their calendar if they need that happening. On the 12th of October, there's a 9th grade only guidance presentation. Again, that information can be found on the guidance webpage or our calendar and event webpage. Wanted to also point out that the October 14th is the officially last day to drop a class and have no reflection on the transcript. After that date, it gets dropped with a grade. So please know, or with a withdrawal actually at that point. And so colleges will see that you tried the class and you didn't take it. Sometimes it brings up questions. Sometimes it doesn't look so good. Sometimes it's okay because you take the class in the following year. But just please know, if you've taken a class and it's not the class you think you wanted, or it's just causing you too much stress and trauma, as long as it's not a graduation requirement, you can drop it if it's an elective or something else like that. So again, you can talk to your counselor if you have questions about that. Just want to point out, on October 17th, there is no school. It's not a holiday, but it's one of those days that is negotiated into our school calendar. And there is nobody on campus that day. So please make a note. Your child has a 3-day weekend. You may not have a 3-day weekend. There usually are a few people on campus, but again, it is not open for school that day. So thank you again to our guest star, which is Damaris Llamas. So we hope you get a chance to talk to her. And again, you'll probably get a chance to talk to her if your student's not feeling well. But again, please keep sending in those those questions, those comments, those shout outs. If somebody's doing a great job, maybe it's a coach, maybe it's somebody on campus who's helped you out or helped your student out, please let us know, because we'd like to give them some recognition. And again, your questions and concerns are also great because they help us know what's going on out there and help us look at things that we can fix. And so if you also have some ideas or suggestions too about some things, please let us know that as well. And we're happy to look into some of those. So anyway, we hope you have a cool weekend. Thank God the hot weather has passed us by, and hopefully it stays away for the rest of the school year here until it's supposed to happen again. But thanks for staying tuned, and we look forward to talking to you next time. Take care.